Hey guys, what's going on? It's Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. Today we're going to talk about, well, Basher. I promised you in my top 10 most underrated epics video that I would do a full, complete champion guide on him. And let me tell you guys, I stand by every word that I said in that underrated video. At the time, I hadn't fully maxed him out and tried him out everywhere in the game, and I love this champion. He is a champion that I pulled on this video, on this channel, excuse me. I never even got too excited about him. I think I pulled dupes of him, or maybe I pulled trips of Basher on one of my last Void shard openings. I'm like, oh, another Basher or whatever. Dude, Basher is really, really solid in this game, and he's a champion that some of you guys might not even realize how good he is. He's a Skinwalker champion, and before we take a quick look at his kit here, I want to just compare him to one of the most difficult champions to get, a Void Legendary Warlord. Now, he's not the same as Warlord, because he doesn't have that chance to fully deplete the turn meter as well, but attacks all enemies, has a when booked, has a 100% chance of placing each target skills on cooldown. Well, Basher has the same ability, and he has a secondary ability that makes him even more viable in some cases. Still not as good because of that turn meter, not having that turn meter on there, but in some cases he's better because of the rest of the skills on his set than Warlord. Just to have an epic option for Warlord or substitution, I guess, is so incredible in this game, and I didn't even realize it. So his kit here, guys, attacks one enemy, has a chance at placing the weaken debuff for 2 turns. Great addition against bosses specifically. On his A2, Stinging Blast on a 3-turn cooldown. This ability is what makes Basher so good. You're mainly going to be using Basher in the arena, both offense and defense, and also in dragons and ice golem, and even in campaign locations. That's really where he shines in this game. We'll talk about each area in today's video, along with Masteries, how to gear him up, how to build him out as well. But Stinging Blast, it's amazing. 3-turn cooldown, unlike what, the 5 turns or whatever it is on Warlords. Attacks all enemies, increases the cooldown of all target skills by 2 turns, essentially neutralizing your opponents to buy 2 more turns for all your allies to kill them. So Warlord puts them on cooldown permanently. Again, here on the epic version, it's on a 3-turn cooldown, all target skills down for 2 turns. So suffice it to say, you're going to want to build a lot of speed on your Basher as well. And then Cause Fear. On a 4-turn cooldown, attacks 4 times at random, has a 75% chance of placing a block buffs debuff for 2 turns. So again, that can be booked up to 100%, 4-turn cooldown. Block buffs for 2 turns is really, really solid, especially in the arena. Don't have to deal with the Duchesses of the world, the Siffies of the world. Again, we want to build this dude fast, and we want to build him with a high amount of accuracy, okay? So I'm going to show you my Basher, and by the way, guys, check out his base attack. He also puts out a lot of damage, which it's kind of a conundrum, right? He's doing an AoE attack on a 3-turn cooldown, putting out a decent amount of damage, good multipliers on this skill, but you still need him to have speed and accuracy and crit damage and crit rate and attack percentage. You know, he's so good. He's one of these champions that's so good that you almost can't go wrong building him in a variety of different ways. So I tried to get a little bit greedy and tried to kind of make my Basher a little bit or a lot of everything that I could load on him. So I put him in an immunity set, right? Because I want to build him out, especially with Tag Team Arena coming out. I'm going to need 3 solid arena teams. So Basher is 100% going to be on my teams. He could even make the case of coming into my main team, substituting him for Molly Tankard on my main arena team, especially given affinity matchups, right? If I'm going against a bunch of magic affinity, why not put the Void affinity Basher in there instead? So kind of a flex spot on my current team. Where is he now? There he is. So this is how I have him built out. Start out with his Masteries here, guys. So his Masteries, I want to give a big shout out to Scratch AK47. He's another YouTuber, uploads Raid Shadow Legends videos. He, about a week and a half ago, uploaded a guide on Basher. At the beginning of the video, he said, hey, if you don't think that Basher is one of the best epic champions in the game, this video is going to prove you wrong. Something to that effect, and I was like, wow. Now you got me interested, man. You got me interested, man. And I actually had him in my vault, and it was after that video that I decided to build him out, include him in my underrated video, champions video, and here we are. So I actually went with, I took a look at a few websites. I went with the same masteries that Scratch recommended, but I will give you a couple caveats here. So I ended with Eagle Eye, important to have as high accuracy as possible, and 50 accuracy is amazing to have on him. I also ended with Kill Streak and with Blood Shield on the offensive tree. We also went with Bring It Down and Wrath of the Slain. So Wrath of the Slain I went with instead of Lore of Steel. Now that's because I have him in an immunity set with no other basic sets. If you guys have speed and accuracy sets on your Basher, which I would advise you do so unless you want to go immunity, I would go Lore of Steel instead of Wrath of the Slain. Now, in addition to that, guys, I have Sniper on here that helps with the weakened land. If you want to go with Master Hexer, that will help increase the duration of the block debuffs, or block buffs debuff, excuse me, that we're going to be landing on his A3. So it's really user's choice there between Master Hexer and between Sniper ability. Otherwise, this looks really, really solid. I'm happy with this setup in terms of his masteries. Now, in terms of his artifacts, guys, before I go to show you the individual pieces, again, I went immunity. Speed and accuracy are going to be two sets that you definitely want to look at with your Basher. Also, building him out with crit rate sets can be helpful to get his crit rate up to 100%, especially if you want to put him in crit damage gauntlets like I have here. So this is how I have him built out. I have 205 speed. Gonna need to get that a little bit higher. I have no glyphs on him, or I should say no speed glyphs on him, and no accuracy glyphs on him right now. So I can get that accuracy and the speed at least 20 higher on both of the stats. That's what I'll be looking to do over the next coming weeks. So 205 speed, 425 accuracy. I have a 3300 on attack, and I have 71% crit rate, 228 crit damage. Now, 71% crit rate is done without putting crit rate gauntlets on him. I have crit damage gauntlets on him right now. But you guys, if you can't get his crit rate to above like 60%, might want to consider just going with crit rate on the gauntlets. Or, of course, you can absolutely build your Basher out to just be a defensive type unit, right? Build him out with higher defense, more HP, and then just have his accuracy as high and his speed as high as humanly possible on this character. But to get the full value of this champion, because he puts out a lot of damage with that high base attack, I would advise you guys try to experiment with going with a crit rate or crit damage on the gauntlets. So I have immunity sets on him. Again, I haven't glyphed these all out here. I have a triple roll on speed here. So this would be a good candidate to get, if I can get a 6-star speed glyph to put there, right? On the helmet, again, I'm looking for speed, I'm looking for accuracy on this one, and I didn't get any accuracy, but it was the best immunity piece that I had available, right? I mean, when you run into, I'm running Fire Knight farming like 24/7, not really, but when I farm, I'm doing it in Fire Knight because I want as much immunity gear as I can possibly get for the arena. But as I always say here on the channel, guys, your goals might and probably are different than my goals inside this game, so go with what best suits you, your account, your champions, okay? Don't just blindly copy me or any other website or YouTuber out there. So again, crit rate, I was looking for crit rate too. Crit rate, speed, accuracy, sign me up, a pretty good shield. And then I went crit damage with some speed and accuracy on his divine speed, kind of ignoring the sets. I went with the best pieces I could find. And then I wanted accuracy on his chest. I love put on really, really strong debuffers like Basher, like Madame Ceres. I go with accuracy chest because I can keep my champions alive. That's an important caveat, right? If you can't keep your champions alive, they're no good to you. So go defense or go even attack if you don't have a good accuracy chest. Kind of up to you guys. And speed boots are going to be imperative with this champion. I got a double roll in accuracy here too, so that helps out as well. Also getting some crit rate. So speed boots are pretty much a must for your Basher, no matter what you're using him for. So that's how I have him built out. I went crit damage on the amulet, again, looking for accuracy as a substat, and I went with accuracy, of course, on the banner. Also got a double roll on speed on this banner. So I have some really good gear on him, and then I have attack, triple roll on attack. Because of the triple roll on attack, I went with the HP on the ring. You guys can go with attack or defense. I would normally advise on the ring of Basher. So let's start out by using him in the arena, where I think is really where this champion shines. Let's start out against this let's see, the most difficult opponents I can essentially find for you guys here. So this dude looks pretty tough, right? He has a super meta team. Krisk, the Bride and the Groom, and Duchess. I think we will be fine because I have the speed, the better speed lead than he does. And my Arbiter is not, you know, the best Arbiter in the game in terms of overall speed, but she is fast enough for going against a Duchess because of our aura. So I have Basher going second on my team, and I'm going to lead off pretty much always with his A2. And here it goes, boom, and you can see increased cooldown of all their skills. Now they're just going to be landing their A1s on me. He died to Rotos, but that's totally fine. I'm sitting pretty, and they're all going to die here, maybe, hopefully. Everybody but Duchess, and she can't revive anybody or put up her veils or any of that crap because guess what? We have all of her cooldown skills. All of her skills are on cooldown, so she's just nailing me right now with her A1. I'm not sure if that was a block revival. It couldn't have been a block revival because Rotos had to go with his A1. So now I can just go with the speed boost here. He's back in revive. He's back in this fight. Try to steal that shield. We didn't land it, but Trundle will end this battle. So again, you saw just how one A2 of Basher able to get me that victory. Let's go against, let's see. Let's go against this Mani BRB guy. It's, yeah, let's just see how we do here. See how we do against this team. And then I want to take him in Dragons again and also in Ice Golem. So, okay. That was very unfortunate there. That was very unfortunate. We don't have him fast enough right now. He needs to be a little bit faster because I need that speed boost from Arbiter to carry right over into Basher, and it kind of skipped him there, but it's okay. I still think we'll be okay. Yep, he is up. Let's put all their skills on cooldown there, and he put out, look at that damage, guys. Look, he was the only damage that we've done to the enemy team so far, and look at their HP. That was all off of Basher. Now, it doesn't matter right now. Again, we lost Basher both times, but we're not super worried about it, right? We can pick him back up, again, because Rotos could not do his other ability, which blocks revival. So now he's back up, and now, again, we've won this match. And you guys can see how, I mean, we're not in Platinum tier right now, but these opponents might as well be the same opponents we'd be facing in Platinum tier arena. And you can see just how good Basher is there. And again, you know, his hits weren't too powerful there, but it doesn't matter. This is the end, and I didn't even see any of those damage numbers. Let me take him real quickly into 12-3 campaign just to see kind of, oops, what numbers he can put out just against like normal mobs, just like how much he's critting for. Oops, I had him right there. Take out Ava. Let's go with him solo and just see how much damage he's kind of doing here on auto. So 35,000 damage, and then that was his A1 there to 30k. So we're looking at, you know, pretty decent damage here. 20 to 30k, 35k. So, I mean, he's not your main nuker on your team, but because he has an AoE that does 40k damage, he's definitely just an all-around super champion to have in terms of crowd control. You know, I say crowd control, basically the CC ability that is tied into his A2 and a little bit on his A3 with the block buffs. So let's go ahead and go into dungeons. I'll show you him on, the reason I say he's good in Ice Golem, guys, is because a lot of people struggle on the second wave in Ice Golem, right, against the Reflect, right? So to combat the Reflect, and there it goes, I mean, he's not gonna, the enemies are not gonna be getting their Reflect up because of his A2, right? So providing we didn't get there too soon that he doesn't have it on cooldown, he's still gonna have his A1 once, I believe, right here. And there it is. And let's see, I think Lissandra's gonna go ahead and, ooh, you gotta be careful here. He's up next. There he goes. So all increased cooldown of all their skills, and now we can easily get by this second wave. And you see what I mean, guys? Again, your team's not gonna be the same as mine. Your gear is probably not gonna be the same as mine. But really what I want you to take away from this, especially in Ice Golem here, is we were able to get by that second stage without having to deal with the Reflect, which often wipes a lot of other teams out there. And, you know, made it look pretty easy. So again, now, when we get to the boss here, he's only really going to be helping out by landing the weakens. He's not going to be putting out a ton of damage here. You get 34k, landed the weaken there against the minion. Well, it is what it is, right? But really, once we get to the boss here, it's going to be time for the other champions on this team to shine. He can really help you get through those waves, those earlier levels a little bit easier. So it's still going to hopefully be a sub 2-minute run. Let's see. And again, block buffs there. Just his kit is so solid, man. I can't believe I looked at this champion once upon a time and didn't think to myself, wow, I need to build him out immediately. I sat on this dude for months, and who knows, maybe a few of you guys are doing the same. If not, maybe a few of you guys have, or you know, when you do pull him in the future, if you do get lucky enough to pull him from a Void Shard, hey, at least you'll know, wow, this guy's pretty solid. I can consider him on my Dragons team, my Arena team, my Ice Golem team, or even campaign farming, as I mentioned earlier. So again, things actually a little bit slower than I had hoped for with this team. To be fair, I didn't put a lot of effort into perfectly fine-tuning this. I kind of just subbed him in for whoever I had in that spot. I believe it was Royal Guard. So as you can see, that's costing us a little bit of time once we get to the actual Ice Golem here. But even though, despite him dying there again, not really that big of a deal, we'll have the shield continuously provided by the Miscreated Monster here. And Miscreated Monster, with his ally protecting his shield, is really the only heals that I even have on this squad. But usually, you know what, I subbed him in for Dark Elaine here, not Royal Guard. And you can see not having Dark Elaine is really hurting us here in terms of getting the boss down. So I think what I would do to this team to better, you know, make it a bit faster is probably actually take Lysandra out and substitute her with a bigger damage dealer, maybe even considering to run. And look at almost 1 million damage, guys. I mean, that is solid, right? That's solid damage from Basher. Let's see what we have here. We can sell those, trash those. Let's go to Dragon's Lair and finish this video out in style. Hope you guys have a beautiful weekend if you're watching at the same time that I'm uploading this. If not, hope you enjoy your week or whenever it is that you're watching this content, this video. If you enjoy the content here, I invite you guys to subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me. So here we go, guys. Again, we don't even need, honestly, with Seer on the team, do we even need Basher, to be honest with you guys? You know, if you don't have Seer, because she just melts away the mobs so fast anyway, they don't even have a chance to go, let alone, doesn't matter if they're using their A1 or their A2. I guess on the second wave, though, you're seeing already, you know, some of these champions, they can one-shot some of my champions if they use their stronger abilities, but they can't. They're all on cooldown. They're doing very minimal damage to my team. A little bit of a slower second wave here, but you guys can see we'll get to the dragon in about 45 seconds or so. And there you go. That's his A2 again. 45 seconds even getting to the dragon. And again, my whole team is nice and alive and doing pretty well here. So let's see how fast we can finish off this dragon. On this team, I have Bad L, I have War Maiden, Seer, Lysandra, and Basher. Kind of an unorthodox team. You don't really see a team like this too often. You don't see that many Basher teams out there, and to be fair, he's not going to be on the fastest teams in the world as it pertains to the endgame dungeons, but he's not going to, I mean, you can use him in the end game if you want these reliable 100% win rate teams. And let's face it, if you're farming like overnight or something, if you're using your auto attacks, or if you're using an auto clicker, it doesn't matter oftentimes how fast you're going because you only have so much energy to use anyway, unless you're like a huge whale. So it's more important to actually make sure you're killing the bosses, killing the Ice Golem, the dragon, keeping your team alive with 100% success rate than it is, you know, doing it 5 seconds faster, you know? So here we go, guys. It's gonna be about a 2-minute run, 1 minute and 47 seconds, not too bad, 500,000 damage, basically in line with kind of what War Maiden put out, you know, give or take 150k. So guys, that's gonna be the video. Hope you enjoyed this illustration of Basher. Again, the damage numbers might not be incredibly impressive right now on these end screens, but really think about what he's doing for your team in terms of absolutely neutralizing the enemy team. That's what he does best. They can't buff themselves and they can't use any of their abilities on cooldown. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and as always, take care, guys.